We slated it already, so
Fixed
yeah,
it.
we're good.
Slated.
Ow.
I did it again.
I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for the second
ready.
one.
Can you do it once more?
No.
No, just do it once more.
Welcome to The Immersive Lens, the podcast exploring the technologies reshaping how we live, work, and learn.
From AI and virtual reality to creative media and design, we are diving into the tools and ideas shaping our connected world.
My name is Paul Engen. Join us as we uncover the people and ideas driving the next wave of interactive experiences.
And I'm Dave Gadoo. This is The Immersive Lens.
Did you question that? There was a pause there.
Is this your first time doing the podcast, Paul?
My name is...
Paul
what is
Engen?
my name?
Paul Engen?
Paul again, and there was a little bit of a pause.
That's right. And we're joined today by Jeff Kidd. It's a little impromptu, so but today we had a few things. We're going to do some hot takes, but then we thought there's a lot of things that are happening in the headlines, and this is going to be a pretty quick release. So we figured that we'd touch on some headlines that are happening around the world. What do you think?
I think we should do a rundown.
All right. Dave, you want to start us off with the hot takes?
Yeah. So two things. One, we are hot off the heels of the AI retreat at the Muller Field Station, which is an outpost owned by FLCC. You can tell us about that?
Yeah. So it's located at Honeoye, New York. It's part of a wildlife management area that we've been granted as a space for us to do research around the area for some of our students and the community.
Yeah, and it's a really cool facility. I've been down there. They do like owl walks, and I think Friday mornings they have walks for the community, and anyone can kind of come down. They have like guided tours, so it was about AI, but there was some playtime there. And Jen Carney did friend of the pod. Jen Carney did and guest of the pod and co-host.
Alenzi?
Yeah, she's a Lenzi. She's a Lenzi.
I saw that you created the Lenzi.
You gotta go to the website.
That's right.
TheImmersiveLens.com.
Become a member.
So it was a great retreat. She did a fantastic job facilitating, but a lot of people I think got pushed to do more like expand what their capabilities are with AI. I thought that was cool, and I saw what you were doing. Yeah. Like basically recreating an entire course.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
I thought it was a great experience too, and I love that it was set in that location because it's such a contrast. You would think, with nature and all of this stuff, and here we are talking about AI and this facility.
But Paige did have us use the Merlin bird app. That was cool.
Oh, I wasn't there for day 2, so you guys did go out. So what was that?
It's cool. Everyone should download it, and you can identify birds. I collected them all. I only got 4, but like. Young Moon was there, and I think he got like 13.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great experience. It was great pacing overall, and definitely if you're in the area of Honeoye Lake, that you should definitely go check it out. There's a lot of things that you can do around there, and yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing I just want to say real quick is, so I want to thank Jen for kind of stepping in when I was delinquent last week. But I was hiking part of the Pacific Crest Trail with my wife, who has hiked almost the whole thing. But there was a forest fire one year when the year she was doing it, so we had to go back and kind of like patch in that gap there. And we would listen to podcasts in the afternoon, and she kept laughing and laughing. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm listening to your podcast. I was like, yeah, Paul and I are pretty funny. She's like, no. She's like, Jen Carney is hilarious. and then I was like, what about Paul and I? She's like, oh, yeah, Paul's funny too. And then it was like crickets. So.
Wow.
I know.
Dave, I think you're hilarious.
Thank you.
All right?
No, I think you're both hilarious.
You guys are
both
just saying
of you are hilarious.
No, you're just saying that. Thank you. All right. So
wait, real quick. You also said that you found an app for wildfire real time or something while you were. First of all, I couldn't do that type of hike. I need to do clamping, or is that
glamping?
Glamping, because I can't do that.
Yeah, the forest fires are real out there. I mean, like.
We're even getting smoke from wildfires in Canada right now.
And the sky is like apocalyptic right now. It's much more devastating out there and like visceral because you can see where the fire starts and you can see the smoke. So there's a few apps out there that are that are really, really well done. And in fact, there's an app for hiking the Pacific Crest Trail too that's really awesome. So I think maybe we should actually at some point have Katie come in here as my wife and talk about like the technology of hiking, because I think there's like an analogy to just the iteration of technology and how much we take for granted and how much it's really improved our lives.
Let me ask you on that. Does she have the watch like my daughter where it like stays on for 48 hours?
The Coros?
Coros, yeah.
But even then when you're tracking we were doing some days we were doing 21, 22, 27 miles. And so you can't do that for 40 days. But so she has like a little charger and a battery pack. I think she carries 2 battery packs. So the whole technology behind hiking is really fascinating to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Very good. So definitely that would be a good topic. I think that'd be interesting to a lot of people, especially in our area.
Do you ever worry about cell service?
Oh, cell service was a huge issue. I mean, even when we were in towns, like there's a lot of towns in Northern California where, it's like one building is a store and the restaurant, and the post office open like 2 hours a day. And there is no cell phone service, like anywhere. But when we get up to ridges, there was cell phone service.
But do you ever worry about like, oh my God, like, I mean, you obviously together, but like,
satellite?
How do we get, like,
Yeah, there is some, you can do the satellite SOS for most phones now. But I was paying attention to like, where are the roads, the crossroads and the fire roads. And it's like, if you don't get a signal, at least you can hit a fire road maybe like once every other day. And just maybe there's a car going by and you can flag them down, but that's not usually the case. So yeah, it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just a testament of like our insecurities.
Yeah. Well, it is, because think about it. We never had cell phones growing up, and we survived okay.
People have been hiking the Pacific Crest Trail for decades without cell phones. But yeah, it's funny to be like detached from that, because you're just used to like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I only have 1 bar. Woe is me. But then we were going for like 3 days without any bars.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And our bars not real anymore anyway? I think I heard that.
Yeah,
like the signal on your
strength.
Yeah, it's not accurate or real.
Yeah.
I heard that.
You know what else is really rare out there? Showers. Like when you're out there in the woods.
Yeah. Well, rain, but there's no rain.
There's no rain. and actually water was rare. There were times when it was like, you can go 6 miles today or you can go 19 miles, but anything in between, there's no water. So it's wild.
So you're packing. Okay. Another discussion.
Another podcast.
We're going to keep going.
There's us. Look at that.
Oh, that's the wildfire.
Wildfire tracker.
I've shown a map of the current smoke path, and we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The air quality in around Rochester, New York right now is
not great.
Not great. But it's all around from Michigan all the way down, I think, Wisconsin. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So it looks like a lot of our hot takes are going to be around Apple products. And I found one before we get into both of yours, which I thought was really interesting. Have you ever been in a car and you're a passenger?
Yes.
In a car? Have you been a passenger in a car, Dave?
Twice.
Or do you only drive?
Twice.
You only, okay. So when you're looking down at your phone and you're working, have you ever gotten car sick?
No.
Really?
Nope.
I don't think I have either.
Okay. So I have an issue with that. And lo and behold, Apple has a solution. Apple has something called vehicle motion cues. And it's under settings, and you have to add it to your control panel. But it has an option where you can automatically detect if you're in a vehicle, and you can turn it on and off. And I don't know, I'm putting this close to the screen.
So people can watch that on our YouTube.
Yes. But when you turn it on, check it out. It has dots on the side. So when the car is moving, the dots move with the car. So it will. So it's not a static motion. Do you see how it's
those dots? These are the dots.
That's making me sick.
Yeah.
That's making me seasick.
So the dots.
Well, because we're not moving. Technically, we would be moving.
Got it.
Yeah. So it moves with like the car as the car moves.
Now I'm as I really move it.
And if you're not watching the video, we have Jeff and Paul like swaying back and forth like they're on a boat or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the dots move and then
and it does for acceleration and braking too, so they go up and down.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah. It's all so when you're looking at it, instead of looking at a static screen, there's motion with the motion of the car, so it doesn't feel. Yeah.
So it kind of tricks your brain a little bit.
into thinking it's moving at the same. Yep. Right. So I thought that was really interesting. So if you're someone who
it works for you, did it work?
It worked. So I drive most of but when I do turn it on, and I've been okay with it. So it seemed to work, but again, not an extensive study. But
No.
All right, how about you, Jeff?
That's really interesting.
You had, or do you want to go, Dave?
No, I want to hear what Jeff has.
Okay. All right.
So Apple, 2 days ago from this recording, Apple released the first public beta of iOS 27, and the big hoopla about iOS 27 is Siri and Apple Intelligence.
Siri's still around?
Siri's still around. Doesn't sound the same. I do like to. Oh, it just activated because I said it. It's now going on my laptop. Stop.
You summoned.
I summoned.
You summoned it.
But I always say, I won't say it, but I say, hey.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it popped up on the laptop anyway. So I didn't think anything of it, and it's just to give people a little bit of how the sauce is made. I mentioned it to Dave and Paul this morning, and Dave's like, yep, you could talk about that. I was like, really? So I backed up my phone and downloaded it, and it was installed maybe 45 minutes ago. So I haven't had it. Right, because it's a beta. Yes, it's a public beta. So to anybody out there that's wants to do that, just it's not fully out yet. It's very stable from what I've read, but I backed up my phone. Which took about a half an hour. So I backed it up. So if anything does happen, I have I can revert back, and so all my stuff is
good
backed
thinking.
up.
Always back up your work.
Always back it up. And I don't use the cloud, by the way. I did it to this laptop.
Okay.
But anyway, so the bullet points really are Apple Intelligence and Siri, visual intelligence, which is like you take a photo of something, and then within the phone, and you mentioned this too, by the way, that's all on the device.
It's local.
It's all local, right. So analyze your photo, do more like Photoshop type stuff with that. Funny enough, though, which they didn't say this when I first installed this, and I was trying to. I said Siri, because I have a dynamic island. It's supposed to pop up in the dynamic island, and it didn't.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I was like, oh. Did I do something wrong? Did I not do it? You have to opt in for it. You have to go into your settings and say that you want to utilize this feature, and you can put on a wait list. And half an hour ago, maybe 20 minutes ago, I got in.
Congratulations.
Hey.
You're in, baby.
So I did play with it a little bit. So one of the prompts that I gave it was, it should be able to search through your emails. So Paul and I have been talking about possible upgrades to the podcast studio. So I said, hey, Siri, can you find... I just said
my gosh.
Oh, no. Oh, it didn't activate. That's good. So I said, can you find an email from Paul talking about the podcast studio? And it failed.
Yeah.
So then I asked again, a slightly different prompt, and it did find an email, but it was like way back in January. It was not like a recent email. So you got to opt in for it, and it's not perfect. And it did take a while. It searched for a while, and my phone was at 100%. It's now at 76%.
Oh no!
Yeah, I did hear, because it's local, it's churning like crazy with the AI.
Yeah. So yeah.
And you mentioned something else when you did that too, right? That it was getting really hot.
Oh yeah. Which yes, it drains the battery, which makes sense, and it did get really warm while it was. And again, I had just installed everything, and it was getting quite warm. This is an iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is notorious for getting hot anyway. But specifically, I just installed all these updates, and I'm not surprised it was getting hot, and I just lost almost 30% of my battery.
And for the record, this is a beta, so
yes,
this is why like there's going to be testing, and it's going to be refined. So even though we're saying all of this stuff, that won't be the final release most likely.
And I haven't really had a ton of time to. Oh, see, I just swiped down, and it's like search or ask.
Oh, okay.
So it's really giving me a lot of prompts to try this stuff.
Can I hear the new Siri sound?
Hey Siri. Oh, let me close this. Hey Siri. Oh, I'll put it up to the mic. I'll try that again. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. There. That's the noise. And see how it populates the dynamic island. Instead of being down here like it always was, the little bubble pops up in the dynamic island.
I gotcha.
Does the 14 have a dynamic
island?
Yeah,
it does. Okay. But I didn't hear it. It didn't talk yet.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Hey Siri. Say something funny.
Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything?
That sounded like
That was a good one.
AI for
Good
the win.
job.
yeah, and that was but it said it with the cadence that I had a question, but it's not a question because they make up everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I did test quickly was I expanded a photo. So I took a photo and I just said expand it, and it uses AI to estimate what it would look like. So I have this photo of these monitors here that I took a picture of to send to Jim for something, for a colleague. And if you go to edit, there's like this AI tools, and then I could extend it.
So it's making up like.
So it's trying to figure right. So you can't go forever. It's got its limitations, but I basically expanded it in every direction, in each direction.
So if I took a picture of like a barn in a field,
can you get it to front of there so people can see that?
So this is what as I basically spread it out. I don't know if we can
That's good. They can.
So I expand, and then you click extend, and it's extending it. It's thinking about it.
Figures out what might look to the left and the right, or
what
above
it should
and below.
look like. And I'll let it finish, but I was surprised because there's a reflection in here.
Right.
It actually got the reflections right, I think. Like
what you think would be there.
What I think, yeah. It's almost done.
It's still thinking. It's still going through it for the folks at home. And, it continued the...
So there's still some reflections in some of them.
On the screen.
It did a pretty good job. It's not perfect, but it's just like, wow, that's impressive.
On your phone.
Right, yeah. This was all done right on my phone.
Interesting. That's great.
And I will say Adobe's had this feature for a while, but it's been on an application and on a computer.
Yeah, Gemini. I think Gemini's been able to do that too.
To expand.
Well, wouldn't surprise me because Gemini underpins the Siri.
New Siri.
Yeah,
but I can't tell. Can you guys tell?
No, it looks real.
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
No, if we didn't see the first,
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's what I've tested so far. A little
Very
bit.
cool.
That's awesome. The 20 minutes that I've had with it, really.
And I have a bit of Apple news as well.
All right, go for it.
So Wired magazine last week ran a piece. One of the journalists wrote a piece called "The Buried Apple Feature Turns an iPhone into the Perfect Kid's Dumb Phone." And so there are parental controls on iPhones and Androids, but they're fallible. So you can escape even if you limit, like, no, you can't use the internet, like you can't disable Safari. And so if someone's friend sends someone a link, then they can like backdoor their way into Siri. So it's not perfect, but this guy was looking at the accessibility. So this is like a good universal design lesson. Was looking at accessibility. It's like, oh, I can kind of like cobble these skills together and make the perfect kid's phone. And he did. And so in the show notes at theimmersivelens.com, then you can see the image that he used, and you can see the article will link to it. But you lock everything down. And so he went and showed it to the Apple store. He's like, hey, look what I did. And the employees are like, we've never seen anything like this before. So
and I'm going to visually describe it. Basically, it's 2 columns with 3 rows. So basically, the photo has 6 icons on it: phone, message, map, camera, photos, and music, which are the most used apps, I would think.
You can cherry pick which apps you want. So he's like, as my kid gets older, maybe I'll add Spotify to the approved list. And so the whole thing is locked down with a pin. So if the kid doesn't know the pin, then they can't go in and add these things.
So can I geek out?
That's what we do.
Family sharing has been around for quite a while with Apple, and that's what I use with all my kids when they were starting to get into it. So you could do usage, you can shut it off, you can block, so this is like a feature that has been around for quite a while, but they've done it so you can't even see the other icon. I didn't go to this extent.
Yes.
But I will say that Apple's family feature is pretty amazing, and it has a lot of flexibility. Unfortunately, parents have to know about it and have to use it.
Sure.
But
I imagine this takes even more work. And one of the things he said is this will go. So if you and I both have, like, if you have your phone and it's locked down, then generally if I send you a text message, it's a hyperlink. You can click on it and get into Safari. But this will strip the link out, so it's just plain text. So there is no way to get to Safari. So you can't backdoor using this method.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't even know you could backdoor the other.
See, Paul?
I don't know. I think you could block. You can block it with certain settings in the family share, but it has to be family share. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So you can't, like, I can't do it. Like, you have to be part of my family share for me to control your device, which would make sense.
Yeah, and like my sister is an Android user, doesn't have an iPhone, but her kid does have an iPhone, so that the family share might not work. In
Right.
That case.
That I don't know. Yeah.
And that's the old, because they updated. That was part of iOS 27. Is the new child settings. That's not iOS 27 even.
No, this is just you can do it with any phone.
This is like right now.
It's just the accessibility tools.
And that family sharing has been around for
I use that.
Yeah, for forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my 2 kids' iPads
Yeah.
ready to, and they ask me all the time. It's super convenient. Hey, I want to get this app. Boop, I get the notification. Okay, yeah, you can have it.
Yeah, and you can allow it, and I love it because it is like limiting. So you can say you got to do your schoolwork. I'm going to be just turning your social media off for, whatever, and then you just turn it off, and then when they're done and they show you can turn it back on, and it, and then as they get older, everyone parent however you want, but I found it very beneficial to help focus and understand. At this point, all my kids are 18 or older, so I don't do it anymore.
When they come home next time, you should put this on their phone.
Well, that I'm thinking for my mom or my aunt or someone who I want to still be able to FaceTime them, but I don't want them. They get so confused.
They don't need like Apple stocks or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's a great solution for that.
Yeah,
but
universal design.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into some headlines. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what the music will be here. All right.
Hot off the wire. We got some headlines. Hot off the wire.
So let's touch on Meta first, because there's a whole bunch of headlines around Meta, and I'll let you do your Meta thing, and then I'll do my Meta thing.
Okay, which one's are we doing every other one? Or
I was going to go into the family share stuff.
Okay, so I'm just going to run down some quick headlines, and all these links will be at theimmersivelens.com. Just go to episode, what was this, 27?
8.
28?
Yeah, episode 28.
Oh my gosh, we're killing it. Smash that like and subscribe button, folks. So here's I have 4 or 5 things to share. Their Instagram videos, or the Instagram app, would let, up until just recently, if there was a public profile, anyone could go there and make an AI video with that person. And no one agreed to that. So there was a lot of backlash, and Instagram Meta retreated and took that down. The second thing, Meta has been using Gemini AI in-house. They have not been using Meta AI in-house. And this is for moderations specifically, but other things as well, like code development. And their usage is so much, Google had to throttle them and be like, you guys are using too much. We have other clients. So Meta is now putting internal limits on how much they can use Gemini.
Use it.
Yeah.
So going back to that other one, I saw that too about the
Instagram?
The Instagram remixing. Yeah. And I will say, as soon as I saw that, I messaged all of my kids and everything, and I said, go to your settings, and there's a bunch of stuff that is turned on by default.
Shocked that Meta would do something like that.
Yeah. So I said, go in, and I was telling them, turn this off, limit this, because they could. You can use your audio.
Yeah.
There's all of the stuff that was turned on by default.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook are. I'm just shocked that this is still happening, especially because Grok did this 2 months ago, and the backlash was so severe that they had to take it down, and now Instagram's doing it.
So yeah, I was really surprised when I heard that. I was like, well, no, I don't want anyone taking my likeness, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. And speaking of AI generation, Meta AI has a tool that can detect AI generated images, except it has failed 55% of the time for images that Meta generated.
That's not good.
No. And the next bit
and they also, I just heard about this, that was it Meta? I think it was Meta. They used AI to evaluate employees and was firing employees because they weren't being productive, but they were like sick or on vacation or something like that.
And And everyone at Meta had to have their computer surveilled. So for every key press, everything. And people are like, we don't agree to this. This is terrible. And the morale's already at an all-time low at Meta, reportedly. But in the column of like what could possibly go wrong, all that data was leaked.
So I will say I'll be the good guy for Meta here. I will say I heard the same thing, that they said that they used AI and like women in maternity leave were getting laid off because of, like you said, but in a note that Meta said is that all hiring, firing, personnel decisions are made by people and not AI, and they were made because of, corporate realignment, not based on AI. So I just want to say that because I know it's easy for us to throw Meta under the bus and say, oh, it's AI that's causing all of this, but and it might be. I don't know, but that is the message that they gave to I don't know what it was. I think it was ABC this morning.
I mean, anyone's job is a spin doctor at these tech companies,
right?
And you certainly don't want to blame anything on AI, otherwise, like, your bottom line goes down. And then one more thing that I have to share. So they were paying contractors to pretend to be kids in other AI tools, like say Gemini or ChatGPT, and were just doing atrocious, like terrible, disturbing content. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, we were just testing the guardrails, but I mean, you're making other people suffer, like the human people who are seeing all these disturbing comments. And also there's kind of like this like industrial espionage, like, oh, so if we can poke holes in all these things, then we can make our AI better in that capacity. So it was not sanctioned. The companies did not know. It was against the terms of service. So I have a pretty dim view of Meta these days. Dimmer.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put a little light on Meta, if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
All right. So I will say that they released a family supervision around their platforms. So for Instagram, if they're under 18 or 16, you can set up some additional guardrails for notifications. You can block messages. You can get notifications. And if they notice like self-harm, they can do redirect, and they can get a notification to the parents that they've detected this type of thing for kids that are under 18. Now, it's weird because they say teens under 16 will need their parents' permission to change these settings. So that means that they don't have a guard. You could be 8 and beyond. So that's one thing I noticed, is that it didn't say
peculiar.
It just said under 16. And again, there are no federal regulations around this, so they're not doing anything illegal. Does that make sense?
But the terms of service, I think, is probably like 12 or 13 to have an account, right?
So back in the day, it was a requirement that any data that is stored, you have to be 13 or over. And so the logic was that you're not allowed to have any of these social media apps or anything that requires a business to have to retain anything unless you were 13 or older. And that was a while ago, so I don't know if it's changed. But that used to be the policy, and again, the policies are changing all the time. So I don't know what the policy is anymore. But you have some countries that are limiting social media specifically to like 16. You're not allowed to be on any social media platform.
Yeah, and we're starting to see the results of that, and it's kind of like mixed results, and a lot of kids are figuring out how to get around those.
And then again, there's the flip side of all of this is that they also say that's a parent's responsibility. And so there's you go back and forth. There's federal, and then there's the parents. It's just like anything else. Like, yep, there's cigarettes in the world, but we have age restrictions, right?
Yeah.
And so, yep, it's a parent's responsibility for that. But there's a regulation that we set that said, okay, the safest approach is if you're older.
Yeah, now there's all sorts of different states are passing different laws and regulations for like facial recognition, for age. It's going to be the Wild West.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, do you have... I know we just threw you with the headlines
Well, something you said really made me think. I don't know if we want to have an opinion about this necessarily, but just a couple of days ago, New York passed the first.
Yes.
It was a
the moratorium,
Yeah.
on
On data centers here.
Yeah.
For a year.
Yes, and whatever data center is already in progress of being built is still moving forward.
But they're going to stop.
But they're going to
for a
stop
year. Yeah.
for a year.
So there's mixed. What's your take, Dave? I'll let you.
Since you threw me under the bus with a quick thing,
I know you threw it right back.
Yeah, I threw it right back.
I want to start by saying I recognize the hypocrisy of this, but I enjoy using AI. I think that there's a lot of value that can come out of it, but I don't want a data center in my backyard. so I don't know how to square that, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I go back and forth about this. I feel like if someone buys land and they want to build there, right?
But it's more than building. It siphons the power. It damages the water and the environment.
Right. So this is where I think, and maybe I need more clarity on this, but my understanding is that in most municipalities that if they bring a data center on, that data center is required to supply their own power, which means that they don't siphon off of somebody else, that they would build an infrastructure.
Yeah, like they're using the diesel turbines right now.
Right. And so I don't know. I don't know. I think that there is. I agree. I don't want a data center in my backyard, but I wouldn't want a skyscraper in my backyard either.
Yeah.
So it's a weird. I go back and forth about this. I understand both sides of this, but I think that if the data center is environmentally
compromising.
No,
if it's carbon neutral.
If they're trying to be carbon neutral, if they're not siphoning electric and they're creating electric and then supplying that electric to other people so that the electric bill goes down for people around them, I think that it's great. Do I think it's going to bring in lots of employment? No, because the data centers are just
the warehouses.
Minimal. Yeah.
But it's where they have had these data centers, the energy costs are going up, and like the temperatures and the noise, like it's a big issue. and like I'm with you, I don't want it in my backyard either.
And my understanding is that a lot of times it's done in more rural areas where there aren't people around it.
Yes, except for that the huge one that XAI.
Yeah, I mean, so I go back and forth about this. I completely understand both sides of this, and it's interesting because I always think data centers need to be in a cold environment, and I think to myself, wouldn't Alaska, like in the really cold regions, or
but then it destroys the ecosystem. Like now animals can't thrive.
Yeah,
and so the UAE is looking at hosting data centers, and there's political reasons too. But now you're looking at building them in desert climate.
That would be
and so it's even more energy.
Yeah. I've heard underwater. I've heard space.
Space, baby.
Yeah, I've heard a mix of this. What are your thoughts, Jeff?
Same sentiment. I don't want one in my backyard. I kind of live in a rural area, so there's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of empty space. I don't, the noise, the pollution. But, if there's investments to be made, we don't want to miss out on the investments, right? So there's that. I think we need to kind of pause a little bit and maybe think about, let's come up with some more regulations.
Sounds like you're talking about a moratorium, so we can
You're right in line.
Yeah, because I agreed with that. I was like, we got to figure this out a little bit. I think we're putting the cart before the horse when it comes to this. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, I'm starting to use more of this stuff. I'm kind of like with Dave. It's like, well, I'm a user, so I feel like I'm, a little bit of a hypocrite.
Saying no data center.
Yeah, but again, I don't want one right behind my house either. Right. But again, maybe I'm ignorant on this, but isn't it? So if you're using water, which generates steam, and then the steam, they just release it, right?
Well, the water is being used for cooling.
Yeah, it cools it, but there's still a byproduct, kind of, right?
Yeah,
it's almost kind of like a nuclear reactor. Because I did a deep dive on the Chernobyl and some those nuclear disasters and stuff like that. But if we're generating steam, if the end product is some steam, can't we put a turbine in there and it generates electricity?
Well, I think that's where I'm getting at. I think that they have to come up with a way. I agree. There has to be a way that it is carbon neutral and that it's self-sustaining, and that how can it help the community in the sense that it brings down the electric because they've generated this.
Right.
But I agree. If it's going to raise the local community's electric cost, then that's not fair to that community.
No, and there are like nuclear companies are coming up online, some startups to do the mini stuff. So maybe it could potentially down the road. And then we've already started to see cost things too, like when training models is what kind of like melts the ice caps. So we've seen savings in that, like efficiencies. So the energy cost will go down eventually.
Yeah.
But like Jeff says, we gotta wait.
But I also think, like, I'm just speaking for us locally here. This isn't a criticism of anything specific, but like we lose power a lot in the building.
Yeah, in Canandaigua.
Yeah, and like we now have 2 sets of EV chargers. You know, you can charge in one spot or you could charge closer to the building now. And it's just, I'm seeing a lot more of that come up. It's like, well, maybe we need to kind of work on the infrastructure a little bit. And maybe this is an incentive, like these data centers could kind of fuel that a little bit, like maybe improve our infrastructure a little bit.
Right. And that's where I'm not, but I think what my main thing is that they have to show that they're going to invest in the infrastructure.
Yes.
If to your point, if it really is, we're going to put this huge thing, it's going to be loud, we're going to crank up your energy bills and everything. There is no selling point.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, sure. I don't think they start the pitch with that though.
Yeah. So I think that, again, definitely some more research that we could do into this area. But the pause is not a bad idea.
Yeah, we just got to take some time, and that's what I'm saying. Like maybe this is a chance for us to update the electric infrastructure.
Yeah,
just for us, our area.
That would be great. Also, like the Slate truck that are coming out, like the $25,000 electric pickup truck.
Yeah,
like to me, like if these companies if they are really like, there's going to be a renaissance in nuclear energy. Well, that is clean energy, and the technology's gotten a lot better in the last 30 years. So like, maybe this will have a net effect for all of us. The other thing to consider, though, is like the prices of computers is skyrocketing because data centers are being built. So like you and I can't get cheaper computers. So if like, don't wait for back to school prices.
Robust.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, in a lighter note, Jeff. Wow, my gosh, look at us.
We're talking about.
I tell you, that is a good headline. So this is a Spotify headline. Talk to Spotify like it's a friend. So they've enabled the AI assistant that you can just talk to it and say something like, play upbeat road trip songs from the 90s with a female vocals. And it will discover a playlist and create a playlist based on that conversation.
Bonnie Tyler, R.I.P.
So, all right. So,
yeah.
We're trying to bring things up.
I know.
Well, you started it.
Yeah, I did.
So I thought that was interesting, and I was wondering, something to check in the future is that with this new update with iOS, if now that will have the similar
integration with the new OS and
AI
developers.
Yeah. Because I always thought that we should have that anyway. You should be able to say that, but it wasn't the case. So
right.
Yep. And then I'll add one more on a fun note. Disney Plus is considering a free tier.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
How many ads do you have to get through?
I was just going to say it's going to be completely ad supported, but they're contemplating using a free tier to compete with, guess, who else has a free tier that uses ads?
Amazon?
Netflix?
No.
Wait.
I don't know.
Google has them.
Oh, Plex?
YouTube?
And
YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes, because, right, you can go on to YouTube and it's all free, but there's tons of ads that appear. Or you could purchase and get a...
I would say of all the purchases I have, the subscriptions, YouTube Pro is the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I haven't seen an ad in years.
Oh, I love it. 100%.
Oh, you too? Oh, my God.
YouTube Premium.
You don't have it?
I don't have it.
Top streaming service.
Yeah.
I will say I had it for
a few months,
a month or two, and then
It's also the number 2 search engine in the world is YouTube.
Sure.
Yeah.
Number 1 is Google. Number 2 is YouTube.
And
but
I assume Disney sees this and says, "Oh, all right, we got to figure out. Can we come up with a solution to compete?"
Now's a good time. There's so much like AI slop for kids on YouTube. Like having curated Disney content would probably make people happier.
Yeah, I could see that. Yep. All right, give me another one, Dave.
Okay, so there is software out there that we've actually talked about when we work with medical facilities like hospitals about AI, and it's called Open Evidence. And Open Evidence is trained on high quality, like the Journal of American Medicine, and that's so the common thought has been this specifically trained model is great for medicine because it is going to be better than ChatGPT. It's going to be better than Claude, and so for a few years, people have been using this, the medical professionals, but they did a blind taste test recently, and they had the same prompt that went into Open Evidence and also like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, and then they had doctors evaluate the results, and Open Evidence won 0% of the time. So I was talking with one of my buddies works in AI, and he's like, yeah, that's called the bitter lesson. And I was like, what do you mean? And the bitter lesson is like a well-known phenomena. Where if you have a hyper-specific model, it typically performs worse than like a wide swath of data. And there's a few reasons why that can happen. So like, let's say there's an error in the medicine, in the training.
Yeah.
That error is amplified because it doesn't have enough pushing back against it. And so all this to say, so the bitter lesson, and there are models where this isn't the case. So like, for instance, AlphaFold, which is a protein folding, that was built from the ground up to be hyper trained on protein folding. Right. So that model excels, and that's why it won the 2024 Nobel Prize in chemistry. But when I was hiking on the second day, Katie made me do like 20 miles or something, and my hip.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Oh my
She
gosh.
made you do it?
She made me do
This
it.
is ridiculous.
Wow.
Katie. You know, this Katie character,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
nervous.
Yeah, you should be. If she makes me walk 20 miles, like I don't know what's gonna happen. So anyway, my hip was like snapping. Like I'd never felt this before. Whereas it felt like if you were imagine taking a rubber band and stretching it so it's really tight and rubbing it up and down like a pole.
Oh,
and you know how it would like snap up to positions. That's what my hip was doing, and like I could feel it in my body. I put my hand on it. I was like, Katie, put your hand here. Tell me. And she's like, oh, this is not good. And so I thought my trip was done after the first like day. And so
Did it hurt?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, you could feel it sometimes.
I think that's called old age.
Well, hey.
Oh, sorry. So go ahead.
I think ChatGPT says, "Do you need hip surgery?"
So I was like, oh my gosh, I like tore my hip. This is not good. I need to get. And this is when I started concerned about like, oh, I don't have a cell phone. There's like,
How am I gonna,
emergency
How am I
routes.
going to get picked up here?
but at that time,
Maybe we do 10 miles next time, Katie.
So I asked Claude, and Claude was like, oh, that's actually called snapping hip syndrome. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, I still have like 10 days left. And Claude was like, it'll be okay. You'll be fine for 10 days. Just like use trekking poles, which I had. And it was like elevate, like rest, ice compress at night. It was like, you'll probably be able to hang on. I was like, all right. So at least I had the confidence. And had I not read this report,
I was just gonna say Claude gave you confidence.
yeah.
What?
And had I not read this report about the about Open Evidence, I'd be more skeptical of the medical knowledge, and I'm still skeptical. And so, like, obviously, the next day I was like, well, I'm gonna kind of like I'll take what Claude said with a grain of salt, and I'll take it was like take smaller steps when you're going downhill, stuff like that. So it all worked. And then like 2 days later, my left knee started hurting. Like it was like a really, really, really focused pain. And so I was like, oh no. So I was like, Claude, what should I do? And it's like, oh, this is, and it gave me like some diagnosis that I can't even pronounce. And it's like, it's actually not a trip ender. You'll be fine. And it was like, what you should do is like
Suck it up.
It was like take a knee pad, which I had, and like wind it into a small narrow, and so it like helped me out. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I was asking Claude about something else, and it was like, oh. Glad to hear. And like, how'd your trip go? So I was like, oh, that's nice. My doctor
So it did ask. It remembered.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna know everything about you.
So it's called the bitter lesson.
That's great. So the key thing here is that the broad knowledge gives it more things to pull from.
It's more resilient, yeah.
So it's more resilient.
And my guess is.
So can I mention maybe that's the whole point of a liberal arts degree is that you get throwing it back to education.
Over 55 degrees. That's what makes me.
Yeah. And beautiful Finger Lakes community.
Because you have more things to pull from instead of being so hyper focused.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. And actually, in computer science, there's this philosophy called like Linus's law, and it says, "Given enough eyes, all bugs are shallow." and that's meant for open source software. So imagine it Photoshop, and I'm just making this up. At Adobe, they have 100 developers working on Photoshop. But GIMP, which is open source, might have 10,000 people from around the world working on it. So GIMP is more likely to have way fewer bugs and more innovation because they have so many people working on it.
Right.
So the bitter lesson is somewhat like a manifestation of the Linus of the law.
Okay. All right. Do you have one more headline for us, Jeff?
Sure. PlayStation no longer making discs starting in 2028.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen a disc in a while.
Well, when was the last time
Everything's
you played? Yeah, but for gaming, well, it's still kind of the same thing. It's kind of like, well, you don't. If you, they could take off. People have complained over the years. It's like you bought a movie from this service and then they stopped carrying it.
Right.
So you lost it.
Right.
So it's like you buy a game, you download it, they can just take it off their server one day and you can't get it.
Right, but it could stay on your system, but if you remove it, you can't download it again.
Right. Well, or if they shut down their servers which can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I know, like, we have the Xbox without the disc and we download everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still surprised that we're downloading. We're not just doing cloud gaming. I think Google Stadia was fantastic at that. But and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but you can still buy like the collector's edition and get like Master Chief's helmet if you have like $100. So they'll still sell like boxes and like paraphernalia.
That I don't know.
I thought I had heard that. Maybe not.
But they won't have the discs
for PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation won't have discs anymore.
Right. And Xbox came out with a response that says it hasn't been. They're working on it, so it's not out right now. But the plan is for Xbox is you buy the disc, once it's inserted into your console, that you'll get a digital license for that disc for that game forever.
Oh, in perpetuity.
Yes.
That's a game changer.
That's interesting.
And let's say, Dave, you want to borrow the game. I'll take the disc out. You put it in your system. That license then transfers to your system.
It's transferable.
Yes. So it's still like we can still trade games. You can still sell games used.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And then
you're right. Because if I download it, I can't I can't
share
it.
Yeah, you can't trade it in. You can't sell it. You can't do anything. You can borrow it.
That's like textbooks. That's why they got rid of like physical textbooks and now it's all online.
Yeah, that makes sense too for that. But yeah, so it's like that's their plan. They haven't. It's only been a couple of days since they announced it. But so it's like, and then I lose the license. So when Dave borrows my game, I can't then play the game
until you get it back, the disc back, and
until I get the disc back, and then then it reactivates the key, and then it deactivates.
All right, that's
kind
of cool. But they got to come up with a digital alternative for that, right? I mean but that's really cool that you could do that because I remember that. I remember Nintendo. Like I had a game cartridge, and then I go
what game cartridge did you have?
I'll say Duck Hunt, and then
Duck Hunt was part of the Mario.
That was not a standalone cartridge. Fake news, folks.
I forgot what it was, but I do remember like taking the cartridge over to my friend's house who didn't have the game, and so we could play. Yeah. We could play the game at their place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and it's a role reversal. If you guys remember when the Xbox One came out, I think Microsoft said no, you no trading games, none of that stuff. And then immediately Sony came out with a game or an ad that was like, "This is how you trade games on PlayStation 4," and they just handed over like they trolled Xbox, and then Xbox rolled it back.
Right.
So now it's flipped. So now Xbox is kind of becoming the hero now, and PlayStation.
Well, except Xbox is laying off 3,200 people.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
I'm not sure of the future of gaming there. They really miscalculated on the Ubisoft or Activision acquisition.
Yeah. I don't agree with that either. Too.
That's another podcast. And we have a lot of headlines. Maybe we should do a part 2. We'll do a faster rundown next time.
Yes, I got one more, which I think is interesting, which is Stripe makes a surprise bid for PayPal.
And Stripe, remind us?
So Stripe is a point of purchase when you go to almost any service like restaurant or anything, and they flip that thing over and you tag it. It's that payment thing that is being used.
Yeah, and I think they do an awful lot of online transactions too, like under the hood.
Yes, and so this isn't. They're not sure if it's a full acquisition, if it's a partial, or even if it go through because PayPal is also an equivalent point of purchase type deal where you could. It's online mostly. So it's interesting to see what kind of, if the amount of online payment methods are going to kind of dwindle and be more focused to like 2 or 3?
And I actually, since we're talking about PayPal, there is a setting by default that was changed for all PayPal users a few months ago. So if you use PayPal, you should go in and check this in your privacy settings. But they basically inverted the privacy policy. So now everything is public information. They can use it. So make sure you go into PayPal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is good to know. I didn't know that. Oh, man. I did not realize that.
Yeah. All right. So
I think that's all the time we have today. But I think you're right, Dave. I think we'll come back to this, and I think another time there, and kind of go through the headlines a little bit quicker. We only got through a portion of it. So I want to also end on a more somber note. This week we lost a dear friend and colleague, Aaron Sullivan. He joined the computer science department at FLCC in 2015, and he really hit the ground running here at FLCC. He was a consummate educator with an unending devotion to his students and to his family and to his friends. His contributions to the college are too numerous to mention, and his legacy will forever influence us and remind us to give our best every day.
Yeah, he really was the best of us, and our hearts and thoughts go out to his family. So we miss you, Aaron.
Yes, Aaron. Our thoughts to the family. So this episode was engineered by Hugh Laird.
Recorded at Finger Lakes Community College, located at our world headquarters podcast studios, located in beautiful Canandaigua, New York, in the heart of the Finger Lakes region, offering more than 55 degrees, certificates, micro-credentials, and workforce training programs.
Thank you to Public Relations and Communications, Marketing, and the FLX AI Hub.
Eager to delve into passion, discover exciting and immersive opportunities at www.flcc.edu.
As part of our mission at FLCC, we are committed to making education accessible, innovative, and aligned with the needs of both the students and employers.
The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official position of Finger Lakes Community College.
Music by Den from Pixabay.
This is The Immersive Lens.